Hi, so this recording is going to be about uploading the weekly schedule to the website. One way that you could do this, once again you're in edit mode, is you could go to the calendar and you could add events. But every time you add a new event, you would have to do this per practice time, and you would put the name of the team, the date, the start time, the end time, the location, because they're not always the Hoyt Lakes Arena. For our combo teams, they could be the HIP as well, or possibly in Virginia's either main rink or back rink for any of the girls teams, or for this year's Bantam B team, because we're all combined. So the location is important to enter also. And then you would have to create this event, and you'd have to do that for each and every practice. So it's quite time consuming. And then you'd have to click on the tag menu, and you would want to probably clear all the tags and select the correct ones. So if it was a mites practice, you would clear all the tags and you would select home, and then you'd scroll down and select just the mites team. So it's pretty sort of clunky to do it that way and time consuming. So there is a shortcut. It is in the admin control panel, and it is under website tools, so go to that tab and then schedule upload. So the import schedule is what we're going to do, and normally you're going to click browse and you're going to look for a file to attach here that you're going to update, or that you're going to import, I should say. If all else fails, you can click on this schedule upload template, and I do want to click on that and go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and open it. So I'm going to download this schedule upload template, which is done on a spreadsheet, so it's in Excel. And you can see there's a start date, start time, end date, end time. The title would be where we put the team. So if it's a mites practice, we would put mites. If it's a bantam practice at the hip, we would put hip with Bantam A or whatever the team would be. And so for our combo teams, we always start with either HL for Hoyt Lakes or HIP for HIP, because of the way they display on everyone's phones and on our calendar. If you don't put that and you only put Bantam A, the only way for them to see where it's at is to actually go into the calendar and click on the actual event. It doesn't show up nicely. So by prefacing it with HIPP or HL, for a team, for example, then it's on everyone's phones and on our calendar, and it's really super clear. The description we actually leave empty. The location, of course, we fill in to be either the Eveleth Hippodrome or the Hoyt Lakes Arena for most of the teams. Sometimes it's the Gilbert Bubble this time of year, or it could be the, like I mentioned before, the Miners or the back rink in Virginia. The location URL would be if there were a website, but we don't worry about that. Location details, if it's an all-day event or not. This is not an all-day event, so we would put zeros in here. If it were an all-day event, we would put a 1. The event type is practice, which we do have, and then the tags are really important. So this, again, this download template is just if they're just in case, basically, for emergencies. So what I have, though, however, is I've got, I guess edited it so that it's fit to, what we need for our association. And then I just keep reusing it over and over again. So, for example, the last one I did was, I'm looking for the one through January, right here, through January 6th. So now I'm going to come back and do through January 7th through, I guess it would be the 13th. So here is our template. So I'm going to email this to you guys so that you have it. And I do want to just make note of this other document that I have pulled up. Notice the title at the top is called ME Tags. I made a separate video on where this came from. So I'm also going to send you this particular document so that you have it as well. And I just want you to know that you'll create one of these for the 1920 season, and I have a separate video on that showing you how to do that. So for now, it's already all been done, but we have to pull some of these mapping codes to make it tag the right teams, to make, you know, the programming of the website tag the right teams so that, you know, it gets to everyone's phones and gets on the calendar correctly. All right, so here is the template for the schedule. So I kind of minimize that. I'm going to get rid of these other windows for a little bit here. And so I kind of split screens between my master schedule for the arena and this schedule template. So right now, I want to enter Monday, January 7th. And you can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 scheduled in White Lakes, 2 at the HIP, and 1 at Virginia. I don't know Virginia's time yet though, so I'm just going to put these 6 in for now. So that is on the 7th. And there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I can just do Control D and it fills it down, or else you can always go to Edit and Fill Down. So it'll fill it right down. So I'm only doing the start dates right now. And then I'm going to do January 8th. So looking at January 8th schedule, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 items, 5 with the 12U practice in Virginia, but again, don't have that time yet. So 1, 2, 3, 4 items on the 8th. So 1, 8, 19. Then I'm just going to copy that down. And then we go to the 9th, 1, 2, 3, 4 items. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the 10th, we've got 1 item, and then we have boys games at home. We've got 2 at the HIP, a HIP game, and then another practice at the HIP, and another practice in Virginia. That's varsity girls and Superior. So practices, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 practices on the 10th that need to get on the calendar. So there's those 4 dates on the 10th. Then on the 11th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but again, don't know the Virginia ones, so 4 of them on the 11th. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the 12th, no practices, it's all games. And on the 13th, no practices, just games. So that's it for our practices. Now I'll take these start dates and I'll select them all, and I hit Control C, which is the command for copy, or else you can always go up to Edit and select Copy, and it tells you what to push. I work on a Mac, so yours might be a little bit different. So basically just copy and paste. So I copied and pasted the dates over. And now I'll go do all the start times and the end times. And notice that they're in the 24-hour, they're on a 24-hour time clock. That's how the programming works. So you have to use that. But the nice thing is that notice in the cell it says 15 o'clock, but up top in the address bar it says 3 p.m. So you can always kind of double check your times that way to make sure that you're marking them correctly. So on the 7th, the PBAs start at 3:45, so that's 15:45, and they end at 4:45. And then I'll kind of flip back and forth and I'll watch this address bar or line up here to make sure I've got the right times. So 3:45 to 4:45. And that's in White Lakes, and that's the Pee Wee A team. And then the location is White Lakes. All right, next is the squirts from 5 to 6. So 1700 to 1800. And that is squirts. And then we've got 1815 which is 6:15, until 19:15, which is 7:15, and that's in White Lakes because it's a combo team, so that's the PWBs. And then from 19:30 to 20:30, in White Lakes we have the 12U girls combo team. And then I just noticed those locations are all White Lakes. All right. And then we have Bantam Bs from 7:45 to 8:45 at the hip. So 19:45 to 20:45 at the hip, the Bantam B team. That's at the Evelyn Hippodrome. And then from 2100 to 2200 hours at the hip, we have the Bantam A's. All right. And did I miss one? Or was I including the girls? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this one was just to allow for the girls, it looks like. So I'll delete that. So I'm going to delete these other rows just so I know where I'm at for filling them in. All right, on the 8th, Bantam A's are going to be 3:45 to 5. So that is at 15:45 to 17 in White Lakes. Bantam A team. And then 17:15 to 18:30 in White Lakes. Bantam B team. Oops. There we go. And then the next time is 18:45 to 19:45. And that's the mites in White Lakes. Not a combo team, so we don't have to put HL there. And then the girls team here, you can see I've got it color coded for Gilbert in that orangish kind of color. So they are from 1830 to 1945. And that's GIL for Gilbert. And that's the 10U girls. And that's at the Gilbert bubble. All right, that's it for that day. The next day we've got 15:15 to 16:45, which is the mites. Again in White Lakes. And we've got 1700 to 18:15, which is the minis and the termites in White Lakes. And then we've got 18:30 to 20 o'clock, which is the squirts in White Lakes. And then we've got 16 to 17:15 in Gilbert, the PBA team. On the 10th, we've got the minis. Whoops. I have to put the time here. 16 to 17. And then a whole bunch at the hip. So starting at 3:45 until 5 o'clock at the hip is the combo 12U girls team. And then from 5:15, oops,